Barbie stood in front of the full-length mirror in her bright pink room, smoothing out the soft ruffles of her light blue sundress. The morning sun streamed in through her open window, casting golden light over her dresser filled with tiny perfume bottles, hairbrushes, and earrings. Today wasn't just any day, it was the grand opening of the new community art center in Malibu, and Barbie had been invited as a special guest. Barbie loved Malibu, with its gentle ocean breeze and the scent of salt in the air. She loved art too, especially painting, and she donated several of her own works to help launch the new center. But even with all that, she couldn't explain the flutter in her stomach. It wasn't nerves. It was something else, something more exciting, something unknown. She arrived at the art center just before the ribbon-cutting ceremony. The building shimmered with white walls and colorful murals. Balloons bounced in the wind. The energy was electric. As Barbie greeted her friends and posed for a few pictures, her gaze drifted toward the sculpture garden, and that's when she saw him. A young man stood with a sketchbook in his hand, lost in his drawings. He wore a simple white shirt, sleeves rolled up, khaki pants lightly dusted with pastel powder, and sneakers that looked like they'd walked through 100 art galleries. His sandy blonde hair caught the sunlight, and there was a quiet focus in his eyes that pulled Barbie in. Barbie didn't know why, but her heart skipped a beat. She walked slowly toward the garden, pretending to admire the sculptures, but really, she just wanted to get a closer look. As she passed, the young man looked up and their eyes met. Time paused. "Hi," he said, smiling warmly. "Hi," Barbie replied, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. "I love your sketchbook. Are you drawing the sculpture?" He nodded. "I am, but now I'm kind of distracted." His gaze lingered on her, gentle but bold. Barbie blushed. "I'm Barbie." He extended a hand. "Ken." They shook hands, and something electric passed between them. "You're the Barbie who painted the Ocean series, right?" Ken asked, flipping his sketchbook closed. "Those pieces are amazing. The way you captured the light on the water. It felt like I was standing right there." Her eyes lit up. "Thank you. You've actually seen them?" "I study art, so yeah. I've followed your work for a while." He paused, then added with a smirk, "I guess I'm kind of a fan." Barbie laughed softly. "I guess I have a fan then." They stood under the palm trees, talking about art, color, inspiration, and childhood dreams. Ken told her how he loved sketching people more than places. "There's something about the way emotions show up in faces," he explained. And Barbie shared how her love for the ocean came from her long walks by the beach as a girl. "The waves always made me feel calm, like they understood everything I couldn't say." Ken nodded. "I get that." As the crowd started to thin out and the speeches ended, Barbie realized hours had passed without her noticing. "I should probably head back," she said, slightly regretful. Ken looked at her for a moment. "Would it be too forward to ask if you'd like to go for coffee sometime? There's a cafe down by the pier. They have the best vanilla chai lattes." Barbie smiled. "I love vanilla chai. Tomorrow, around noon? I'll be there." They exchanged numbers, and as Barbie walked away, she turned around one last time. Ken was still watching her, a smile on his face that mirrored her own. That night, Barbie lay in bed, staring at the ceiling as the moonlight filtered in. Her heart still fluttered when she thought about the way Ken looked at her, not just with admiration, but with understanding. There had been something rare in that moment, something honest. She didn't know what the future held, but for the first time in a long time, she was excited to find out. The next day, Barbie arrived at the cafe a few minutes early. She wore a simple pink blouse and jeans, but her eyes sparkled with anticipation. She chose a table near the window, where she could watch the waves crash on the shore. Ken arrived right on time, a small sketch pad tucked under his arm. I brought you something, he said, sliding the sketchpad toward her. Barbie opened it, and her breath caught. Inside was a pencil sketch of her, standing in the garden, sunlight falling on her hair. This is incredible, she whispered. Ken shrugged, a little shy now. I drew it after you left yesterday. I just had to. Barbie looked up at him, her eyes filled with something unspoken. You see me, she said quietly. Ken met her gaze. Yeah, I do. They spent hours talking over chai and croissants, sharing stories, jokes, and quiet silences that didn't feel awkward at all. At one point, a little girl at the next table pointed at Barbie and whispered to her mom, "Is that the real Barbie?" Barbie turned and winked at the girl. "Yes, and this is my friend Ken." Ken smiled and waved. The girl giggled. "Looks like we're already famous," Barbie said, laughing. Ken leaned forward. "Maybe, but I think we're just getting started." And in that moment, under the Malibu sun, with warm chai and warm hearts, something new began, something real,